Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. Today I'm working on how I make a weighted blanket. Now I've made a few of these and I've learned things along the way when you first start out making them. You can tweak it a little bit. So the first one I made was, I made channels and locked it actually on the long arm, locked the channels on there and then filled them up, or they were pre-filled. I just had to find where the stitches was. Not great for the needle. And same for this one. Make sure you got just a regular needle, make sure it's sharp and the beads don't hit it. You're gonna make sure there's no beads in the way of the sewing path, okay? Because you'll snap a needle, no doubt about it. So I have been requested to make a 15 to 20 pound weighted blanket for a growing boy. So I went more on the 20 scale, like it's between 18 and a half and 20 pounds for this blanket. And it needed to be a twin size. So twin size, you know, 60 by 80 sort of thing, or 60 by 70. I think I measured 60 by 80 for this one. And of course, you want to evenly distribute that weight throughout the whole quilt or the whole project that you want to do. So I did a base first and made channels. Here's my channels, 4 inches apart all the way across, and then I've taken another bit because I do have lots of scrap fabric of this white, so I have a huge roll of it. I still got many projects to do with it, so this is a great way to build out the base. And then the one covering it, the fabric covering it, is a slip cover, so it can be washed, so on and so forth. When the child grows older and needs more weight, I can easily go and rip the seam, pull the whole channel out, redo one, or unpick it all, dump all the beads, set it up to be a little heavier, and I can do every other one, you know, with a couple of ounces to make the quilt heavier or the blanket heavier, okay? So these are known as weighted blankets. You've seen I've done the frog, and I've done a few little just like shoulder rest neck things. So they do seem to be helpful for people who have stress and anxiety or just need a little bit of help focusing, just kind of make them feel like they're a little grounded. So I'm going to show you how I make the channel. So I did another big 4-inch strip of fabric, the length of what I was doing for this project. So it would have been 60. And then you have to figure out, okay, well, how many rows am I going to get? Well, I'm getting 20 rows on this. So pretty much it's a pound per row, or a little less than a pound per row. You weigh that out. You're going to need a scale that goes down into ounces, okay? So when you turn it on, because you're going to need a container to measure in, and you have to zero the weight of this container, whatever one you're using. So then when you go to pour in the beads into the container, you're actually getting an accurate 1 ounce measurement, or whatever it is you need to get the weight for your quilt, okay? And I figured 1 ounce because there's 13 ounces in a pound, and then sectioning it out, so it's 1 ounce per little section, so it ends up being a pound per row, approximately, okay? Give or take. So hit the 0 button, or hit the on button, and this is just a Starfrit, just a regular run-of-the-mill scale, nothing too exciting for it. And I made sure it was on ounces and grams, or ounces, there we go. And then once that is on, you hit the 0, and then it zeroes the whole, zeroes the whole bottom. So whatever weight you put in there, it is the accurate weight amount. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but of course I'm going to move it and it's going to change. But anyways, it's 0, 0. Trust me. Then you take your pellets. Use the smooth ones. If you have the ones that have a sharp edge, you'll have a bit more of a difficult time getting them to shift down the line, so you can get them in their little sections. And of course, it's very handy to draw lines of where approximately you want to go, 4.5 or 5 inches apart, and it gives those beads that little channel to sit in. So when it's, you know, evenly weighted, distribute over top. Okay, so put this in here, get it up to my ounce. Oh, perfect. There we go, 1 ounce. And then just take this. And of course, I made just like a big, huge U, big, long sock. So what I put in here, it's going to go shift its way down. Okay. And that's why the smooth pellets, poly pellets, try and get make sure they're the no smell kinds, because sometimes you get the smell ones and they're not pretty. No. You can always prep the next one while you go to sew this one. Kind of make sure you got your ounce. Every little pellet counts. There we go. Okay, and then shifting this, making sure you can see that all the pellets are down here. This is where they stop, and then my sew line is right here. So I'm going to make sure when I'm putting it on my sewing machine, I'm smoothing it with my hand, making sure there's no beads in the way. If you want, use a ruler or just a pencil just to make sure the space is nice and clean. Because like I said, you do not want to hit your needle with one of those. Okay. And they come right off from start to beginning. You don't have to back stitch or anything because you're coming off and on where there's already been stitches. And then just make sure it's straight down. Take your next one, now that you have it all measured, scoot it down the channel, and you just keep doing that until you're done. Okay, go up there. Oh, that's a little heavy, so we'll take some out. Wasn't a bad guess on that though, Laurelyn. That's pretty good. Oh, there we go. We don't want it too heavy, right? We want it to make sure it's the weight that we've been asked to do and it's evenly been distributed within the channel spots that we decided what the weight needed to be. Sometimes you may only have like 0.75 of an ounce per one, depending on the size you want to make and for the size of the munchkin. They usually say anywhere from 10 to 12 pounds, 1 pound or 1.2 pounds per 10 pounds of the person. So if the person's 180, then you do about 18 to 20. So, okay. And you just keep doing that until it's all filled up. You can work a couple at a time. I was doing that earlier. I was doing 2, but it almost seemed just a little bit easier to focus on one. So, there we go. Okay. And then you could use a funnel if you need to. Maybe if your channels are a little bit smaller than mine, you could use a funnel. Whatever it helps, you get it. I was using the old batting from a roll of batting to get down to the very, very bottom, and then I just realized these pellets weren't sticking to the side because the last set that I had was sticking to the side, so I had to kind of like shoot it down there with one of these and then sew up and then just kind of shoot it down. It was kind of fun, but nonetheless, made the job a little bit more taxing for sure. So it's nice that these ones are nice and smooth and they just slide all the way down. They're not sticking because some of them were sticking before. So this is a great way to use up some weird and wackadoodle fabric you had no idea what to do with. Build a base to a weighted blanket and go from there. They've been highly beneficial to many people. This will be the 5th one, and they've ranged from 8 pounds to 20 now. To this one being 20, and just shake it down. There you go. And then back under the machine. Make sure nothing's shifted and you don't have any pellets in the way. Okay. Once we finish this row, we'll finish it together, and then I'll show you how I put it in the base, the channel holder, I guess is what we want to call it, or the bead holder. There we go. I've already got it. Yep. Slow and steady. And if you drop a bunch on the floor or anything like that, just put a pair of pantyhose or something really, really fine over the head of your vacuum, and then you can suck them up and then you could just pick them out, because I wouldn't throw them out, that's for sure. Those things just cost you money, so be picking them up. All right, again, over here, load it up. There we go, 1 ounce, perfect. I did seal it, yep. So I've got a few done so far. So this is for a customer, she's coming to pick it up. So I better go. And the cover that we've made for it is, one side is black micro polar fleece, and the other one is a golden sort of beautiful fabric. So I have the backing of it here. It's very pretty, so I'm sure the Munchkin will love it. And then I'm going to put his name on it, but we'll do that after. There we go. Okay. Make sure the inside's all built first, and then I'll work on the outside. Oh, 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 there we go. Gotta give it time. Gotta give it time. All right, just a couple more channels to fill here. Little spots, I guess. I don't know which one. Pockets? Oh, pockets. Bead pockets. Yeah, don't forget to join us tomorrow, Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're doing, working on Pop's candy cane snowflake quilt, and we'll be doing possibly the candy cane parts. So, depends on how far I get with the fabric cut. And we'll see, make sure there's no missing pieces. Try to make sure. There's never a guarantee in that, as we all know. Da, da, da. A little more. Oop. Oh, oh, oh. Overzealous. All right, there we go. Okay, this should be the last one. Yep, then we'll seal it up. There we go. So that's all that channel all done. Or pocket section all done. Okay. All right. Right, and then we're going to take this, and now move this one off to the side because I have more to do. I'll show you what I do from here. Let's put 0. You know what? How we fill it, how I made it. And I did, like I said, did the base, did the pin it together, marked with 4 inches, did a channel with the sewing, so you can see that there's the 2 with the beads in them already, and then these 2 as well. And what I did is I just took the one side here. Now you may have some sort of tool that you can probably clip with it and feed it through, or you could probably use this in some sort of manner, maybe putting one section in to hold it. Here, I'll show you. Okay. Ooh. And making sure it's straight, because we want to make feeding in this channel straight. And then we can just tuck it in. Okay. I can line it up here. And that'll get you to your other side. Okay, hopefully. Just slow and steady wins the race. If you don't have one of these, you can always just let the weight of the weeded section, did that come out? Hope it didn't come out. It guide its way down. So okay, it's not as good as I was hoping. Come back, you. Let's start from the beginning here. All right, tuck it in, feed it in a little bit, and then once you get it so it's kind of a little flipped up over your shoulder, or you can hold it up, make sure you're using the weight of the beanbag to get it down. Of course, the other 2 were just like fantastic with no issues whatsoever, but then of course this one's going to fight me. Come on. Why is it always the way? Okay. There, it's shaking, it's going down. See, it's already down to here. So just trying to feed it down and let the weight of it kind of carry it down. And then you want to take the little edge that you've got here, the edge of the fabric, with the edge of where you have made the channel to begin with. Okay. All right. Then you're going to want to make sure you put in a safe, or like just a stitch pin, and you can always sew these as you're going, you know, or you just do a straight line down the end. I just found it was easier to do them one section at a time than trying to deal with once you get 3 rows on, and then it's the weight, and then you got 4 rows on, trying to deal with it, trying to go into and out of the sewing machine. Okay, so to me that was the easiest. Oh, this one didn't make it all the way. Just reach your hand up if you can and pull it down. And of course you want to make sure you give it a pin so it stays where it's supposed to. And as long as you made your strips of fabric the same length, if not a little bit longer than your channels, you're good to go. You'll have no issues making sure they come out on either end, and you're stitching them down as a stabilizing to make sure they're not going to go anywhere. Okay? And that is the best way that I have come up with to make a weighted blanket. And of course, they can go lay this way, or they can lay this way, whichever way is easier for you to deal with it, right? So, all right, 17 more channels to fill. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Check us out on Facebook, we're there, or our webpage, wesewit.ca, or you can check out the new Quilters Online Guild is www.wesewit.com. We have forums there where you can post your knitting, your cooking, your crafting, whatever it is that you're interested in, and happy to share with everybody else there. So, okay? Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy.